Here we have a call for a smoke detector chirping. Now I've replaced the battery. I put two different batteries. You can always use your multimeter to check the DC voltage on it. The batteries are good and it's still chirping, which indicates to me that it's going to be a faulty smoke detector. Whenever you are replacing your smoke detector, you have to make sure that you replace it with the right one. There's three different types of smoke detectors. You have DC, direct current, which is going to be basically operated off of a 9-volt battery. You also have the AC, which is alternate current, which is going to be line voltage, 120 volts. And then you also have AC and DC, which is line voltage and battery operated. So what you want to do is you want to make sure when you're replacing your smoke detector that you're replacing it with the right one. Move the smoke detector from its base. Every smoke detector is different. You may have different ways to remove it from the base, but this is pretty much standard. Once you remove it from the base, you're going to want to take these wires and remove these wires. There's two little push pins on the side. All you basically do is squeeze it and then you pull these wires and separate the smoke detector from the line voltage. Now you can see here you have the line voltage is going to be 120 volts, and then you have here the batteries in the back. Now again, like I said, all smoke detectors are not the same. Some have the battery in the front and you can basically just push it and it pops out. So just make sure that you're pretty familiar with whatever smoke detector you are replacing or removing. I'm going to test the battery just to make sure that we do have 9 volts and make sure that it is not the battery that is the issue. I have my leads on the battery, the positive and the negative, and I'm at 9.5 volts. So at this point, I'm confident that the battery is not the issue and it is a faulty smoke detector. Now we are going to take our voltage detector and we're going to make sure that we do have power coming to the line. So you see here, I do have power coming to this line. You want to make sure before we do anything in replacing the wire and the base that we're going to disconnect the power from the circuit breaker. You turn the breaker off. You'll go and test it and make sure that there is no voltage coming through. Now we're going to take our non-contact voltage detector, make sure it's on, and you can see here that there is no power coming through. Loosen the screws. You don't have to remove them completely, just loosen them on both sides so that you can remove the base. The wire is down. Again, like I said, be very careful. We already tested to make sure that there was no voltage coming through, but you still want to be very careful. Remove your wire nuts so that you can disconnect the old smoke detector harness. We are going to install our new harness. We continue. If you pull your smoke detector wires and you see that you only have your black and your white and there is no red, you're going to leave the red insulated. You're not going to remove this cap. You're just going to connect the black and the white, and you're going to just leave this like this. And you're not going to remove it. You're not going to connect it to anything. If you do pull your wires and you find there's a black, a white, and a red, then what you're going to do is you're going to pull this cap off, and then you're going to connect it to the other red line. Wire nutted all of your lines. What you'll do is go back to your circuit breaker, turn the circuit breaker on, and we're going to test to see if there's voltage going through this smoke detector harness. Turned it on. So we do see here that we do have voltage going down. You don't want to test it up here because there's going to be power coming through the line. You want to test it down here and make sure that the voltage is being detected at the base of the harness. Now we're going to attach our new base. The holes may be preset already, or you may have to use a screwdriver and pop them out. So just make sure that you do that before you go on the ladder and put your base on. Now what you'll want to do is you'll want to push your voltage lines up, and you'll just want to leave the harness here. And like I said, you can test for power just to make sure that you didn't loosen any wires. If you're not comfortable, you can always disconnect the circuit breaker, turn it off, and then push the wires in and then turn it back on. Really depends on what you want to do. But right now we did push the leads up, and you can see here that we do have power going to the harness. Tighten down the screws for your base. Here you can see that the new smoke detector comes with a 9-volt battery already inside. A lot of manufacturers now are having the battery inside place. They usually have some sort of tab, and once you pull that tab, that will allow the battery to be operational. Once you remove the tab, now you can connect your line voltage to the base of the smoke detector. Once you connect it, you'll see a green indicator light illuminate. You can see here the light is active. And what it's telling you is that it has line voltage powered to the smoke detector. Go ahead and attach your smoke detector to the base.